Allergies, allergies, oh, allergies. Ba bum bum bum. Come on, YouTube. Wookity wook wook wook. There we go. Hello there, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning. It is the DOUG here once again. And we're back for another new Let's Play, a short one this time, because we know I like those games that's nothing but a story mode, more or less. Of course, we finished the Tales from the Underrealm this morning. Now we're starting the Sweetest Monster. I have no idea what this is about because I'm going in here blind as a bat. But let's go. And sorry if you hear me sniffling, I got the sniffles today. I remember when Great Aunt Clancy was still alive. She had a black cat called Belle. Okay, can I continue? Oh, you hit square to do everything. Okay, yeah, that's odd. So I guess we do the same with that as well. Okay, no, X is still... Okay, so we can save with X, is just square. Now, that isn't strictly true. Great Aunt Clarence didn't just have one cat over her long life. She had several. Maybe it's because she never had any children. I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, and diagnosing somebody after their death seems rather callous to me. Great Aunt Clarence always loved cats. After the death of Great Uncle Albert, however, she began to dot on them more and more. She would then sit them on her lap and talk to them, and she looked at them so intensely you would have thought she was waiting for a reply. It was kind of sad how, now that I think about it, I didn't find it sad when I was little, though. I thought it was scary. I never liked going to see Great Aunt Clarence. She would sit in her armchair, bent, doubled back, hunched like the anonymous bell ringer from Victor Hugo's famous novel, stroking her cats with her withered, ropey hands. I guess she was your archetypical crazy cat lady. At her lowest point, she had 6 of the things, shredding hair around the house and dragging dead birds across the welcome mat in the kitchen. On my nose itches. Still, I don't remember much about her cats. I mean, they're just cats. You've seen one cat, you've seen them all, right? But Belle was different. I remember Belle. Belle was a black cat, proud and stately, her eyes greener than anything I've ever seen before. She disliked people in general and would hiss and spit whenever unwanted fingers strayed too near to her glossy coat. She hissed at me, at Mother, at Father, and she definitely hissed at my great aunt. When she was truly enraged, Belle would even try to scratch us. Yeah, force everyone on Facebook to watch this. Whew! Allergies. I still remember how I felt when Belle's claws raked across the backs of my hands. I still remember the ugly red welts she caused. She drew blood on me more than one occasion. Mother and Father were upset, but Great Aunt Clarence simply tutted and said, "Well, what can you do?" My parents, as may be expected, were not happy about this laissez-faire response. As a result, they stopped visiting her for several weeks. They couldn't hold out for long, though. My mother probably felt guilty for storming out of our house like that, even though the welfare of her only son was at stake. But not really. I mean, I'm still alive and kicking, which is more than I can be said for Great Aunt Clarence. Those violent assaults didn't leave any lasting scars, not physically. Mentally, I'm also doing fine. Though I did become a primary school teacher, so you might think otherwise. But those scratches were hardly the worst things Belle did to me. I remember I was playing with a model aeroplane. The plane, boss, the plane! It wasn't anything special, certainly not electric. All I could do was throw it like a glorified frisbee, but I enjoyed it all the same. I was running through Great Aunt Clarence's overgrown jungle of a backyard, all the uncut grass that reached past the ankles, and old dead apple trees that hadn't given any apples for years and years when I noticed Great Aunt Claire's garden is rather big. Was big, I should say, because the garden doesn't belong to her anymore. It had apple trees, like I said, but it also had a vegetable garden. A disused pen where Great Uncle Albert used to keep chickens, and a lake. A rather large lake lined with willow trees, like something from a picture book. Like the lake in the beginning of Alice in Wonderland. Maybe I was channeling Alice myself that day, though I didn't tumble into Wonderland searching for the white rabbits. Instead, I, quite foolishly looking back on it, fell headfirst into the lake whilst trying to save the life of a black cat. I heard a yowl and a loud splash, and I turned. My plane forgot, and it landed on the ground and bounced a couple of times, but I hardly noticed. I was too busy staring out at the lake, staring at Belle. The old saying states cats have 9 lives, but I wasn't naive enough to believe that. Even at the age of 6, I'd already been to Great Uncle's funeral, Albert's funeral, so I knew that when people die, they stayed in the ground and didn't get back up. Belle did not have 9 lives. She only had 1 life, and it was precious. Belle had scratched me only a few months prior, and I didn't particularly like her, but I didn't want her to drown. That was why I decided to rescue her. I meant well, but soon was transparent that it was an incredible stupid idea for several reasons. For one thing, I could not swim. For another, Belle could. Maybe Belle caught you in a trap you can't walk out of. She decided to sacrifice you. Maybe Belle's a witch. I can't even remember what happened after that. This is where my memory goes foggy. All I have to rely on is hearsay from my parents and reports from doctors. They told me I almost drowned. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel or anything, or if I did, I don't remember it, but there is something I do remember from that ordeal. Splashing helplessly in the icy cold lake in Aunt Clarence's garden. I remember watching slowly drowning as Belle pulled herself out of the lake right before my eyes, rendering my rescue attempt null and void. Now I'm just guessing, but I imagine the last thought I had right before I swallowed a mouthful of water and lost consciousness was, "You really are an idiot." More than 30 years later, I don't think I've changed all that much. Just ask my wife, Sally. May 11th, Tuesday. That wasn't that long ago, actually. Sally doesn't like Albert White, and I can't say I blame her. I don't think I like Albert White all that much either. That being the case, it's strange. Sally seems to be laboring under the entire misguided apprehension that I might be having an affair with her. Why are you always so kind to that awful woman, Robin? I can't stand her. The two of us are sitting together in the living room, the curtains drawn, the TV buzzing in the background like a Latticast swarm of bees. You must be watching Animal Planet. I'm not sure what we're supposed to be watching because I haven't been paying any attention. I think it's some kind of crime drama. That would explain the stiff, lifeless corpse of a teenage girl sprawled across the TV screen and her hair wringing wet. Crime dramas have a strange fixation with dead girls, particularly drowned dead girls. Maybe they think it's edgy. Maybe they think it's sexy. The pre-Rafaettes sure seem to think so, given their unhealthy obsession with poor Orphania. I can't really comment on the sexiness or otherwise of this dead girl. She reminds me too much of Melly. I know you can't stand her, Sal, but her money is worth just as much as anybody else. Very little counts and all that. Don't regret adjusting jingles at me, Robin. Even if they're catchy? Even so. I don't think Sally's watching the TV either. She's glaring at the walls, squeezing her cushion so tightly it would scream if it could. Why did she have to come and pick Annette up so early? She knows her piano lessons don't finish until 6:30. Maybe she's lonely. So she decides to invade our home and invite herself in for coffee. Well, I guess I was the one who invited her in for coffee. but I didn't really have a choice. You could have told her to leave. I could, Sal. Not when she come all this way. I would have felt bad. So you feel bad about inconvenience Abigail Swarty White, but you don't have any sympathy for me. I had to listen to her banging on about her divorce for half an hour. I felt like I was going to go mad. Ouch. I'm sorry about that, Sally Pally. I try to give Sally a sympathetic look, but I'm not sure how much of an effect it's having. Sally isn't even looking at me. She's too busy seething. If you really were sorry, you wouldn't have dumped on me like that. I'm a translator, not a professional entertainer. I know. I'm sorry about that, Sal. I really am. I don't know what to do. I could hardly cut Annie's piano lesson short because her mother turned up too early. I bet she did it on purpose. It's because you're always so nice to her, Robin. You're too soft. Oh, so the main character's name is Robin. Okay, well, that can be a man's name. Yeah, I mean, Batman. Granted, when I think of Robin, I think of Nico Robin from One Piece. Sorry, I have a dirty mind every time. Sorry. I don't like the way Sally says nice. It sounds bad, like she's trying to frame me for a crime I haven't committed. It is true that Abby Wayton is fairly attractive as far as the singles mothers go, but she's also arguably Alabama White. Abigail White's daughter, Annette, is a student at the school I work at. She's been having piano lessons with me for 2 years. My relationship with the charming Madame White, however, is strictly one of business. I hardly ever talk to her. Well, Abigail White tries to talk to me. I go along with it because that's the more polite thing than annoying her, as Sally would prefer, but I don't try to encourage conversation. Why would I? If I'm being brutally honest, I think Abby White is something of a snob, and she's boring with it. I don't know why she gave her daughter such a fancy French name. Abigail White doesn't have a single French bone in her body. Although Abigail White's getting divorced, she's been in the process of getting divorced for more than several months now. I feel sorry for Annette than for her. I think Annette's the kind of 9-year-old girl who's been forced to grow up far, far too quickly. She's less of a daughter to her mother than a constant living counselor. No wonder she's so quiet during her piano lessons. I have to be nice to her, Sal. She's a paying customer, and she's going through a rough time. I know she's going through a rough time. I know all about that, Robin, because she told me in detail. She told me more than I would like to know. Well, Sally sniffles, if the way she looks at you is anything to go by, I have no doubts as to why her last husband packed his bags. You're being a tad judgmental, don't you think? I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying it like it is. She's always been far too friendly with you. Perhaps, but it's not like I return her feelings. Whatever they might be, I just want to help Annette pass her grade 4 piano exam. And that's why you went out for coffee with Annabelle last week, is it? Because you wanted to help Annette? I sigh heavily. So we're back to this again, are we? I thought we exhausted this topic last night. We certainly went over it enough times. I hate the women at the ridiculous Kept Fit Club Sally goes to. I swear, they don't even try to lose weight. From what I've gathered, they meet up every Monday solely so they can gossip. Mrs. Harris is the worst. I knew I was in hot water the moment I saw her in a coaster last Saturday, trying to console crying Annabelle White over my cappuccino. Already told you, Sal, I didn't want to go for coffee with her. We just bumped into each other and she suggested it. That's all. But you didn't need to agree with her. No, I didn't, but I think she needs somebody to talk to. The divorce must be pretty hard. She started crying, Sal, and I guess she needed a strong, handsome, already married, let me add, knight to sweep her off her feet. Come off it. What was I supposed to do? My heart isn't made of steel. But what about me, Robin? How do you think that made me feel? I wasn't thinking about you at that time, to be quite honest. I was more concerned about Annabelle White smearing her mascara, which definitely was not waterproof, no matter what she said, down the front of my shirt. So you're telling me you gave her a hug too? Shit, I didn't mean to let that one slip. I'm such a smooth talker. Well, I think she might have hugged me first, and it wasn't a hug. Not really. She was just trying to hide her face. Like I said, she was crying so much her makeup had started to run. Being hugged by her was like being embraced by a depressed clown. It was an interesting experience, but not one I'm keen to relive anytime soon. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. First you invite her out for coffee, and now you're telling me you've been letting her cry into your chest out in public? Why did she need to emphasize the out in public part? Isn't it that better than embracing her in private? I don't understand women. Look, Sal, I know it sounds kind of bad, but it really wasn't like that. I'm not interested in her. Really, I'm not, even if she does wear those low-cut shirts. That isn't the part that upsets me the most, though, Robin. That's not the real issue here. Damn, Sally sounds mad enough as it is, and this isn't the real issue. I dread to think what that might be. I'm disappointed in you. You said you were going to go out with me and Mally last Saturday. You promised. Of course, Melly. I knew I was forgetting something. It's a good thing that something is only my daughter. Look, I know what I said and I really did mean it. I just got distracted, that's all. Too busy to try to console poor Annabelle, are we? Get something to drink. That isn't it, Sally. I didn't know what to do. It wasn't only last week either. You've been promising Melly you would have a day out with her for almost a month and you still haven't. Water. Just what is so pressing that you can't put one measly day aside for your daughter? I know it's shoddy behavior. I really am sorry. I've just been busy. Busy? How busy can you be? You're a music teacher in a primary school. It's hardly rocket science. It's not science at all. It's not even a proper subject. Ouch. Oh, now Sally's done it. I love her and all. I kind of have to since she's my wife, but I'm tired of hearing this shit about my job day in, day out. Even Annabelle Bleeding White got on my case about it last Saturday in Costa in between all her tears. Oh, I envy you, Robin, working at a primary school and doing music too. Must be so relaxing making a living out of something you're passionate about. Trying away in an office all those years has really started to grind me down. I guess you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Actually, not an anime this time. This one's more... There's no weirdness from what I could gather. No weirdness yet. I mean, it ain't like the last one I did where there was anime titties right out the gate. No one really looks like to have that issue. This one might be more realistic and grounded in real life, Rosie. Trying away in my office... Oh, I already read that. Yeah, right, because trying to stop a class of 5-year-olds hitting each other over their heads with their recorders is so much fun. I'm living the dream here, folks. For your information, Sally, music is a proper subject, and my job is a proper job. It's more proper than yours, at least I actually leave the house. Sally stares at me, her face a pale death mask. Oh shit, I'm sleeping on the couch. What was that, Robin? What did you say? I know I've got too far, but I can't back down now. It's already too late. In for a penny, in for a pound. Rosie says, so I go back to work tomorrow. Yay, money, money. Money! I said my job is more proper than yours. Unlike you, I can't sit on my backside all day with the TV on in the background. How dare you say that to me? Just because I work from home, it doesn't mean my job is any less real than yours. Besides, music is nothing more than a hobby. It's not important, not in the grand scheme of things. Music is necessary, no matter what you say. Being able to play an instrument is an important life skill. And that's why you stopped trying to teach Melly, is it? Because it's such an important life skill? I stopped for Melly's sake. She hated it. I just don't think the piano is for her. And I have other students to teach, so you teach them, but not Melly. Not our own daughter. I wonder why. I'm sure money has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Sally? Don't you Sally me. You're in the wrong and you know it. That's why you're going quiet. It's because you know you've done something you should feel guilty about. Sally looks at me with undisguised disgust. She might as well be examining a cockroach. I feel just as welcome. I'm going to sleep. Don't even think about coming into my bedroom tonight. I don't want to see your face. My bedroom? What's with that possessiveness? I did pay for half the house. Nice selective memory there, Sal. With that, Sally storms up the stairs, her messy bun bouncing. I watch her see her slamming one foot after the other with more than necessariness. I can see her face, but her posture makes her feelings more than evident. Don't follow me. If you do, you're dead. I sigh, rubbing the back of my neck with one hand. Don't worry about that, Sal. I wasn't planning on it. I might have almost drowned when I was a kid, but I'm not suicidal. There's a river a short walk away from my house. Oh, sorry, not my house, mine and Sally's. It would be a little hypocritical for me to call Sally out for laying a single-handed claim to our bedroom and then do the same thing about our home, wouldn't it? Let me try that again. There's a river a short walk away from our house. Maybe 10 or 15 minutes. The river isn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination, hardly something to wax poetic over. Even the greatest of romantics would struggle to say something nice about it. The river is a dark brown, cloaked with mud and dirt, and people use it as a kind of a communal dustbin, ignoring the real bins that exist for that very purpose. It's unusually filled with broken beer bottles, carrying bags from nearby supermarket, and fast food containers. It's not a pleasant sight. Once I saw a sofa soaking in there, unmoved by the torrents of the muddy water that rushed at it. So, wow, that's funny. Are we in New Jersey? It is rare to see shopping trolleys baskets in those murky depths. Swallow more like it. The motionless wheels aloft in the air. I don't envy the guys who have to dredge all that shit back out of the river. It must be a rotten job, far worse than mine. Most people, my wife included, look vaguely amused when I tell them I teach music in primary school. So you play around with trombones and castanets all day. But at least being a teacher is a respectable job. Semi-respectable. It's proper. Not like the lake dredgers or whatever their office name is. Do they even have an official name? At any rate, though, this river is wholly a picturesque point of local interest. More like an eyesore, everybody says. I still like it. Not sure why. Maybe it's the sound of the rushing water. It's strange that I like this river so much, since I almost drowned it in my youth. But that's never really bothered me. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So, as I always do when I'm feeling unsettled, which has been more and more frequently as of late, I find myself standing on the bridge overlooking the surface of the river. It's a dark night and the water doesn't look brown, as it usually does. It's a black like ink, the skeleton of a shopping trolley sticking out of its muddy banks. There would be a shopping trolley, there always is. I suppose it's comforting in a way. Some things never change. Not like my relationship with Sally, that's changed a hell of a lot. It happened so gradually, too. I don't even realize how much of it had deteriorated until what? I don't know. I don't want to say until it was too late, because that sounds horribly bad, but I sighed, resting my hands against the roller iron railings. The iron is cold, chilled by the biting wind, and my fingers spasm. If I stay here for too long, I'm going to catch a cold. I know that, but I can't bring myself to move. I continue to stand there, frozen, staring into the river. The water parts when it hits the shopping trolley, swirling about its circles. Ah. Did I just feel a spot of moisture on my head? It's raining. The rain starts to fall from the sky in a fine mist, light and whatever that word is. Well, not the Imperial. I'm still getting what? Yeah, I probably butchered that. I should go. I've dragged here long enough, lost in my self-indulgent thoughts. Sally might be getting worried. Then again, maybe not. I wonder, if I slipped and fell over the guardrail, would Sally mind? Would Melly? Maybe Annabelle White would, but I don't care what she thinks. Sally's right. I haven't been spending enough time with Melly. I've only seen her at dinner, when we sit together at the table, lost inside our own respective silences. Happy families. She doesn't talk to me, doesn't even look at me. I'm not sure why I called her Melody. It's a big name to live up to with a lot of unspoken hopes and dreams mixed in. That was my first mistake. I turned ready to set my way back home when... Guess who? Ah! My vision is suddenly obscured by a darkness even darker than that of the light sky. Beeth grin across my ear and laughter, obviously female, dances about me. There's something pressed against my back, hands held over my eyes. They're doing that childish game you see kids participate in the playground. I never thought I'd be on the receiving end of such a gesture. Who is it? How many young girls do I even know? Maybe it's one of my students. Miss Cotwell's ended perhaps, but Anna would never do something like this. She's far too shy. Not as shy as Millie, but shy enough. What about my other students, then? Laura? Jessica? Karina? No, and no again. Lauren's quite a chatterbox, but she never be been this informal with me. Jessica spends most of her piano lessons staring up at the ceiling. Rena's family is from Poland, and although she's fluent in English, she's got quite a strong accent. It isn't those girls. Why would it be? I'm not that close to any of my students. Who else could it be then? I think you got the wrong person. Can you let go of me, please? I expected a sudden intake of breath. I fancied step backwards, a wide-eyed apology, but it never comes. The girl only giggles. Her hands remain stubbornly in place, unmoved. Oh, no, I definitely don't. I know it's you. I know it even if you knew it was you, even if my eyes were pecked out by crows. Crows? If we do know each other, could you at least let me see your face so I can confirm it? But that's no fun. I wanted you to guess. I've always been bad at guessing games. Suit yourself. But that's so boring. The girl steps back, drawing her hands away from my eyes. I turn, the wind and rain striking my cheeks frown, and I don't know what I'm expecting. For some reason, my heart is beating just a little louder than usual. Adrenaline? It isn't every day you encounter a mysterious young girl in the dark. On the bridge in the dark. The situation sounds like something from a novel. What kind of novel? Haven't decided yet. Make up my mind when I see her face. If she has long black hair and pale skin, it's probably a horror story. If she's blonde hair and blue eyes, maybe a romance. But as it turns out, the mystery girl is a mixture of both. Interesting. She's short, far shorter than me. Well, I knew that already since I could feel her breath against the base of my neck when she held her hands against my eyes. But I still don't know who she is. At least, I don't think I do. There's something vaguely familiar about her face, the shape of her nose, the arc of her eyebrows. But those points are nebulous, difficult to pin down with any kind of clarity. Her hair is dark, cut into a neat hop. Her eyes are bright green with a small mischievous smile plays across her face, like a cat that just caught a mouse. Would that make me the mouse? For some reason, inexplicable reason, I have a chill go down my spine. And not because of the cold. There's something odd about this girl, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Something uncannily familiar, but this centenary alien. But I don't know her. I'm sure I don't know her. If I met somebody with bright green eyes like that, flickering like halogen lamps, I think I would remember. Normal people don't have eyes like that. I'm sorry, but I really don't think we've met before. This must be some kind of mistake. And I already said that it isn't. I know you anyway, Robin Hawkins. So she knows my name. How does she know my name? But she doesn't answer my question. She can't. I forgot to say it out loud. Uh-oh. She takes one step forward and peers at me. Her eyes are large, or encompassing, like twin gas plants. Uh-oh. My head starts to pound. I feel dizzy. I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you for such a long time. I wanted to tell you something really important. Apparently, I got a Facebook message. That's the important. I think I'm in love with you. So saying, the girl stands on tips of her toes and presses a soft kiss against my cheek. Her movements are so gentle and tender, I could almost kid myself into believing we're estranged lovers, reunited on this bridge for the first time in 15 years. But that can't be. I don't know how old this girl is, but there's a good chance she might not even be 15 yet. As for myself, I've been married to Sally for longer than that. The thought of Sally is enough to pull me back into my sense, more effectively than a slap across the face. I'm sorry, but I wonder if that's the cat he saved at the start of this, and the cat actually has the ability to transform into human. I take hold of the ghost soldier, fighting a bond, and push her away. She doesn't look surprised by the manhandling. Woman handling? Teenage handling? Help me out here. Instead, she stares at me, eyes unblinking. To be honest, it's kind of unnerving. I can't deny that I'm flattered by the attention. What middle-aged man wouldn't be? But at the same time, I'm confused, anxious, and more than a little disturbed. What on earth was that all about? What? Just who are you, anyway? Don't you remember? I thought that might jog your memory. Not that we've ever kissed before. That would have been weird. I really don't know. One of my old students? Do you usually let your students kiss you? Of course not. Good, I'm so happy I'm the only one. I can get awfully jealous, you know. But that doesn't help me out. I still don't know why. Alright, fine. I see we're not going to get anywhere without a bit of a push. She smiles, her eyes sparkling like precious jewels. First hydrogen plants, now jewels. The girl's eyes are ever-changing mystery. A source of so many possible similarities that almost take it on mythical properties. It's irrevocable. I've never seen a person with eyes like this before. In that case, there's just no way. How can that be possible? But it is. I step backwards. My back collides against the long-flowing iron rose. Cold seeps through my jacket into my skin. The girl stands in front of me, smiling coolly, as though she hasn't done something shocking. They're growing right out of her scalp in a pair of ears. A set of twitching black ears lined with white fur that tremble in the cold. Cat's ears. Cat's eyes. A cat's tail, too, peeking out from beneath the hem of her dress. This must be a dream. This has to be a dream. The sudden kiss should have been enough of a giveaway, but the scene playing out before my eyes has changed into the border of possible but improbable, and right into the congratulations, you've gone insane territory. Maybe I've been outside longer than I thought? It must be the cold. I'm seeing things. What other explanation is there? This can't be real. There's just no way. Do you know who I am now? Slowly, stupidly open my mouth and say the first thing that comes to my head. Belle? The girl's face lights up, rich with smiles. That's right, I'm Belle, your great Aunt Clarence's cat. Wait, okay, so I kind of figured that, but... And I'm having the image of the Stephen King horror film where the cats attack monsters. I really gotta stop watching horror films. Of course, that makes sense, doesn't it? It's Belle. She came back to thank me for trying to save her. Though she didn't need saving to begin with. That's just how the world works. Those who do good deeds will get rewarded eventually. I think there's something about it in the Bible. I don't know if there's anything about cat goes in there, though. Granted, I never paid much attention in RE at school, so I can't be sure. I'm no priest. Falling into the river during my unfortunate formative years must have scared me more than I thought. And yet, despite my belief that this must be some kind of near-death-induced dream, the girl, or Belle, should I say, doesn't disappear, doesn't even flicker. She remained stubbornly solid, lining her eyeballs against the iron railings as she stares out at the starry sky. If only for the ears and the terror, she would look like an ordinary girl. An ordinary girl who kissed a middle-aged man in the middle of the night. Well, I suppose that isn't so unusual, not really. Lots of girls do things like that, some even make livings out of it. But this isn't the same. I know it's not the same. I'm not really a cat, you see. I can tell that much. Maybe you can now, but you were totally taken in before, right? Your great Aunt Clarence, your parents, and, well, everyone of it, really. It was a very convincing disguise, the best Halloween costume I've ever seen. Thanks. I managed to fool you humans, but the other cats were less convinced. They must have known on some instinct level that I wasn't one of their own. That's probably why they didn't like me, didn't want to come near me. That's true enough. Great Aunt Clarence's other cats, Smokey, Midden, Snowdrop, Jasper, and Eric, never went near Belle. I always thought it was just a cat thing. My body was that of a cat, but I was more than that. I've always been more. You said all you humans. Does that mean you're not human? How perceptive of you, she grins. And how many humans do you know that can disguise themselves as a black cat for years upon years? Maybe not a black one specifically. Haha, you're funny. You're so freaked out right now, but you're trying hard to make jokes. I like it. Christ. I run a hand through my hair. It's damp and it clumps together in spikes. Water trickles down my forehead. This is ridiculous. How can a cat also be a girl? I don't understand. It's probably easy to think of me as neither. I'm not a cat or a girl. Then what are you? Words begin to filter through my mind. None of them are particularly flattering. Scrosmocious? Edict? Abomination? How can I phrase this? I suppose I would say spirit, but you humans might say other harsh things like demon, devil, maybe monster. Well, if you're a spirit, then I am okay with that because you look cute. Monster, not too far from abomination, then. At least she didn't say, oh, to God. If she did, then it's Mortal Kombat time. Mortal Kombat. I was taken on the form of a cat unnecessary for a while. I didn't really want to, but I had no choice. I was too weak to assume a human form at the time, so I had to settle for something smaller. What do you mean you were too weak? I can't explain it right now. It's a long and boring story. And you probably wouldn't understand. Probably not. I can't even understand the made-up sci-fi jargon in Doctor Who, so how would I ever be able to wrap my head around something like this? Do you remember when I fell into the lake at Glenn's Garden? I wasn't paying attention, really. Lost in my own wood. Yeah. 1 second, guys. I'm back. When you're a cat and you can't communicate with anyone, daydreaming is all you can do to pass the time. Of course I remember. I almost died. I suppose you have a point. You humans only have one life after all. I take it you spirits or whatever it is you all have more. She taps a finger against her nose, that teasing smile floating about her face. Now, that would be telling. A woman has to have some secrets. I thought you said you want a girl. I'm not. There's a big difference between a girl and a woman. Alright, fine, I won't pry, but I still can't wrap my head around all this. Good boy. I don't appreciate that condescending tone. I'm 42. And yet, despite your age, you're nothing more than a child compared to me. Just how old is this a woman? If we first met when I was 6, she must have been a considerable head start over me. Isn't it rude to ask a lady her age, though? I was so happy when you tried to help me back then. I mean, I wasn't in any danger, but the fact a human would risk their life in order to aid me really was touching. It wasn't touching, it was stupid. Don't be too hard on yourself. I appreciated it. People ain't very nice to us spirits, even when we masquerade as something else. Though they can never tell the difference, I think they can sense it. That might be true. Our parents were never too struck on Bell, neither was I. Wonder why, though? What are the general duties of your average run-of-the-mill spirit? Melting out death, ferrying souls, hurting the apocalypse? If that's the case, it's no wonder people are suspicious of her. I vowed ever since that day when I regained enough strength to take on human form, I would find you and thank you. It became my mission, my reason for living, as it were. I'm flattered, but you don't need to go that far. But I did. At the time, I really, really did. I need something to care about, something to stray for. I've been a cat for so long I was almost beginning to lose my sense of self. I was starting to forget who I was, and that's very dangerous for a spirit. Beings like me can take on other forms whenever we want, depending how strong we are. But if we remain in one form for too long and forget about our true selves, we'll be stuck. I was this close. She holds up her thumb and forefinger. The distance between them is a minute. Microscopic. To forgetting, to condemning myself to the life of a common house cat for the rest of my life. A life that would have ended far, far too fast. Cats can't live for nearly as long as spirits can. No, I can't imagine they would be able to. Just what am I talking about? I have no idea what I'm saying. I never met a spirit before, so I would have nothing to compare this girl's words to, and no way of verifying her statements. I'm just saying what I think she wants to hear. I'm trying to make her feel better. Over the course of the last 5 minutes, I've come to realize something. I don't like it when she frowns. I'm glad you tried to save me, Robin. It woke me up from my stupor, shook my being by the shoulders, metaphorically, of course, and because cats don't have shoulders, until the leak they accumulated over the years fell away. And I almost began to forget it was an act. I almost forgot myself. You made me remember. You made me remember who I really am. You didn't save me from drowning, but you saved me in a different way. You saved my identity. You saved not my physical body, but my sense of self. That's why I wanted to thank you so much. I'd be nothing more than a dead kitty, a stone-cold cat carcass if it weren't for you. I wouldn't be able to talk, to cry, to laugh. I wouldn't even have opposable thumbs. Belle holds up her hands, bending each of them each of her fingers in turn like a child showing off an art project to a parent. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart. She looks at me earnestly, her green eyes intensity. I shiver. It feels like an invisible, ghostly hand is brushing against every single vertebra of my spine. I look away, flushed by her fortnight honesty, and run a hand through my hair. Am I really a typical man, bad with feelings, crowded by confusion? Oh, well, you already said thank you, so you don't need to kiss me. What was that? Was that also out of gratitude? Partially, maybe. It's because I realized something crucial. What? Saying thank you wasn't enough. Not after you helped me so much. You helped me more than you could ever know. Her eyes flash like floating street lamps, harshing in intensity. I can see streaks of bright green pressed up close against my eyelids when I blink, burn inside my skull. You almost gave your life up to help me. Now I want to return the favor. I eyed her suspiciously. And how are you going to do that? I turn, ready to make my way back home, and I'm getting a bad feeling about this. This dream, nightmare, hallucination, whatever you want to call it, has become too real. I was playing along until now, waiting until I woke up, but it never happened. I don't think I'll ever wake up. The bizarre fantasy has imprinted upon my moonless life, sticking to my skin and chilling my bones. It clings to me, one skinny arm threaded through mine, and it stares at me with big round eyes, penetrating. Her breasts are small, much like the rest of her body, but they feel soft pressed against my tongue. There's what Rosie was looking for. I don't know if she noticed, or is that her intention all along. Her bare arms exposed to the biting wind, the fraying rain, but she doesn't shiver. Her body is cold, but it feels yearning at the same time. For all her talk about being a spirit, a demon, monster, she looks like a young girl to me. She's so short I could rest my chin against the top of her bobbled black head. She must be around the same length and height as Melly, give or take a few inches. I want to be with you all the time. I want to help you as much as you helped me, and give you a shoulder to cry on when things get rough, a smiling face to congratulate you when things go well. I want to be alive without your sacrifice, so I belong to you now. I'm all yours. What? You know, most men would be happy about that. What does she mean, all yours? Humans ain't objects any one person can possess, no matter what marriage contracts would have you believe. Though Sally shares my last name on legal documents, she still publishes her transactions under her maiden name. We've been married for almost 2 decades, but we do not belong to one another. I couldn't force Sally to obey me even if I tried, which I haven't because I like to think that I respect her. But respect doesn't count for all that much when either of us particularly likes one another. Belle isn't human anyway. She's not even a cat. I don't know what she is. Maybe there are different rules in regards to possession when it comes to non-human ethics. If there are, I wouldn't know. I never met a spirit before. You heard me. I want to devote myself to you, my entire being. My each and every eyelash belongs to you, and the dirt beneath my fingernails, and the teeny bones inside my toes. I wouldn't be able to appear before you in this body if you hadn't saved me, so I owe you. I owe you a lot, in more ways than one. Without you, I would not even be alive. The cold wind makes me shiver. I should have worn my coat. Why didn't I wear my coat? I must have been in too much of a hurry. The argument I had with Sally made my blood boil. I needed to escape before I suffocated. The cold air was good for me at first. It cleared my head. But now I feel uncomfortable. She's standing close, far too close. She smells of the rain. Her hair sticks to her forehead, and her breasts are still pressed against my arm. It's cold, but I'm starting to feel warmth. Uncomfortably so. Oh. Belle's green eyes flash like the colored bands trapped inside glass marbles. One more thing. I'm still rather weak. I can contain a human form, but I can only use it for a short while. Human bodies are difficult to materialize into being, even for spirits such as myself. You're so and I like grandfather Curlock's. Never think it, but inside here, she taps her chest, but I don't think she's telling me to stare at her breasts, what little she has. Rather, she's imploring me to look beyond that, right past her skin, into the inner workings of her alien, unfamiliar body. There's so much stuff going on all the time, so many organs and muscles and so much blood. My whole body is tittered together with cord and wire, running my electrical impulses, nervously firing in the brain. It's very hard to focus on maintaining such a precious, delicate accents for so long. It's exhausting. If I let my guard down for even a moment, I'll just disappear into thin air like a candle being blown out. I never heard anybody talk about the human body in such an impassioned way. It's strange since Belle isn't human herself. Maybe that's why she's so eager. People always get interested in the unknown. Why else do so many people long for the good old days? We always do it, nostalgically heartbreaking back to the past. We do not even enjoy at the time. The grass is always greener. Anything becomes more attractive with distance and even the finer workings of the human body. Perhaps if I was not a human being, I would also find the respiratory system endlessly fascinating. Was being a cat just as different? They have lots of little bones too. Being a cat was difficult, but I grew used to it. A few decades would do that to you. Being a human, however, it's rather new. I need some time. I've not seen a human form before. Even as I ask the question, I feel myself wince. My left eye twitches. I must sound like such a fool. This isn't the kind of thing I should say. This discourse has no place in this civilized conversation. It's the kind of filthy dialogue that might exist in a young adult novel or a TV show, but real life? My life? Not a chance. But I still act all the same, and Belle responds in turn. She doesn't even blink. Of course I have. How else could I have known how to speak? It all comes with practice. Like riding a bike? Yep. Once you've done it, you don't forget. But it's been a while. Define a while. I can't. Spirits live longer than humans, so my vacation of time is a bit off. But if you had to guess, I don't know, the last time I was human was maybe 40 years ago, but I've been alive longer than that, longer than you could imagine. Wow. I don't know what to say. Should I turn it into a joke? It might be for the best if I don't want to go insane, presuming I haven't already. I don't know if I can feel comfortable about this. I should probably ask my mother for permission before I start chatting with such an old lady. Belle giggles and swats at me playfully like a cat battering at a bird's carcass. I see she wasn't lying when she said she's been a cat for so long. I'm surprised she hasn't tried to lick me yet. Or herself. That would be interesting. I'd love to stay and chat, but I feel myself getting faint. I might have to take my leave soon. But this won't be the last time you see me, I'll make sure of that. With that cheerful explanation, Belle stands on her tippy toes, plants a small kiss on the tip of my nose. The gesture is unexpected and strangely sweet. I stare at her stupidly. All right, Robin, I'll see you soon. Much sooner than you may think. Hee hee hee. I'm not sure if I should take that as a threat or not. And what's with the hee hee hee? Isn't she a cute schoolgirl? No matter how hard she's trying, she isn't even a girl at all. She's a spirit. Something vague and unfixed, like a breath of air. Do spirits have genders? Does she assume a female form as an act of whimsy, a silly joke? I wonder. But I don't have the time to ask. I blink once, twice, and Belle has already vanished, her back melting into the surrounding darkness. I collapse against the railings of the bridge, snapped of strength. The iron bars are cruel against my back, but my face feels hot, my nose tingles. I can still feel her lips pressed against it, that soft and girlish kiss. I hold one hand against my nose, gingerly, as though it belongs to somebody else. A different man. A better man, perhaps. His wife still loves him. His daughter does not hide in her room every time he comes back home. Why am I thinking about Melanie now? About Sally? Maybe it's guilt. Is it because deep down inside, though, I try to tell myself otherwise? I'm happy such a pretty young girl kissed me? Of course I am. Despite the falling rain, her body really was warm. When I returned home, chilled from the wind and sogged from the rain, I discovered the lights in the house are off. Sally must be asleep. I'm not sure about Melly. For I know she could be caught up in her bedroom, curtains drawn, reading a book or searching the net with her old laptop. Or maybe she's just sitting there, staring at the ceiling, cursing me silently. I have no idea. I really don't know that much about Melly, do I? How on earth did we become so estranged? We're father and daughter. She's my flesh and blood, but she might as well be a stranger. I wish I could shrug it off with a, oh well, and sometimes I can, but it feels far too pressing right now. Far too depressing, more like it. Oh, that's Lamb. I open the front door and step inside, closing it behind me with a soft click. I don't want to wake anybody. I even tried to suffer the jingle of my keys, but I doubt that small sound would be enough to arouse anyone. I'm just trying to be considerate. Some people would call that overcompensating. I learn more towards cowardness. I don't want to get drawn into another row. I don't turn the lights on. Instead, I goat my way up the stairs in the dark, one hand on the wall, the other on the banister. Sally scolds me when I brush against the wall with my fingertips. She says it will stain the paint. Begone paint. The carpet is beginning too. How did we decide to carpet the stairs in the beginning? She's every single speck of dirt, no matter how obscure, when a tightly lipped Sally has to vacuum each and every step, or 18 of them, every other week. Maybe I should feel guilty for not cleaning the house more often? But Sally does work from home, unlike me. She has more free time. Besides, she was the one who decided on the color scheme. She likes Ben so much she can have it, but she's the one who has to deal with it. Damn, I really am cold, ain't I? So much for trying to be considerate. Why do I bother leaving the lights off? I should have flicked them all on, then trampled up the stairs in my shoes, stepping on each of them for good measure. I think I'm a decent person, but I'm not always sure. I can be pretty selfish at times. At least Belle likes me. That might be a small consolation if it weren't beginning to doubt whether or not she actually exists. Maybe I've gone insane. Is that where Molly got it from? It could run in the family. Great Aunt Clarence was definitely a few cards short of a full deck, given she had all those cats. Well, let me slip into my bedroom. No, not my bedroom. Our bedroom. Shug off my jacket. Silently, Sally doesn't stir. I can see her lying underneath the covers, curled up on herself, a lump that rises and falls on the dark. She's lying on the left side of the bed, resourcefully facing the wall. Does she still not want to see me? Sally looks younger when she's asleep. Her blonde hair is loose, free from her bun, and falls over her pillow, across her face. Her pajamas are strangely cute for a woman 1 year shy of 40. A demeanor white nightgown like something a student at Molly Towers might wear. Well, my Orioles ain't winning tonight. All of a sudden, I'm run through with a sharp stabbing sensation. Guilt. I'm sorry for being such a lousy husband, Sally Pally. You deserve better. She doesn't respond. Of course she doesn't. Apologies don't mean all that much when you forget to say them out loud. And now it's May 12th on a Wednesday. But that's where we're going to stop the stream here. So until next time, guys, have a good night, and we'll see more of this another day. Once it saves. There we go. Till then, peace out, everybody.